When I first heard about Bitcoin, I did what everyone else does and did a little study. You hear about this person, guy who once self-identified as a guy, Satoshi Nakamoto. I typed Satoshi Nakamoto into Google and Intelligence Central came up. The name Satoshi comes from the Japanese word for smart and the last name of people from the Japanese areas in the middle. Mike, when you say Intelligence Central, you sound a lot like the CIA. Okay, what if this was made by the NSA, the CIA, or someone else? A lot of ideas have been put forward about who made Bitcoin and why. One of the scarier and more paranoid ideas is that Bitcoin was made by the U.S. National Security Agency, NSA, a group called the CIA Project, whose job it is to find out about hidden U.S. intelligence projects, put out a video a few years ago saying that the NSA was behind Bitcoin. The group's main claims were about Satoshi Nakamoto, the mysterious person who created Bitcoin. They say that Satoshi Nakamoto's name basically means Central Intelligence in Japanese, which suggests a link to the CIA. The video also made it seem like Satoshi's ability to remain anonymous might just be a training trick, since no one has ever met the person behind that code name or positively identified them. Some people have also thought it might be Tatsuaki Akamoto, a real cryptographer who worked on a 2007 study about peer-to-peer systems. There is a rumor that the NSA may have been motivated to make Bitcoin by his work. Many times, these ideas have been shown to be false. However, Mark Yusko, a famous hedge fund manager and Bitcoin enthusiast, thinks that Bitcoin would still be unaffected by whatever endgame its creators may have had in mind. In a recent interview, Yusko said it's possible that the NSA is behind Bitcoin because the government may have known the dollar was going down in value and wanted a replacement that they could control. He did say, though, that Bitcoin does not have a backdoor. Other, more controlled cryptocurrencies, on the other hand, make him less sure of their security. What if this was made by the NSA, the CIA, or someone else? And in 2007, there was a study funded by the NSA that was written by Nakoshi Sakamoto. I think I pronounced that wrong, but it's a real person and just a homonym. He was in charge of security for NTT in Japan. The report was mostly about a peer-to-peer system. That's not normal. Did the NSA really make this? If so, was it because they knew the dollar was dead? How did they know that? Well, a dollar was worth $1 from 1776 to 1913. When the Republic was formed and we split off from our parent company in the UK to open this little shop in the US, it changed a little during the Great Depression and the war, but it was still worth $1. It didn't cost more to live because there was no national bank. We also copied the Bank of England in 1913. They had copied the Dutch National Bank before us. In 1607, the Dutch National Bank was the first central bank. This helps to explain in part how the Netherlands, which is about the size of Ohio, beat the Spanish Armada. Think about that. Portugal had the world's most valuable currency and was the most powerful country in the world. Then Spain took them over, and the Netherlands took over Spain because they printed money to pay for their mercenary army. Then they send people all over the world to settle down, which makes them a little too busy. Napoleon then comes along and defeats them, becoming king of France for a while. Then, some Rothschild family members came to the UK and set up the Bank of England. The Bank of England then gave money for steamships, which meant that they took over from France. So when we broke away from the UK, we set up this thing. Coincidentally, the Fed was founded in 1913, the same year that the UK invaded Mesopotamia and racked up a lot of debt. The pound sterling began to fall apart, and over the next 31 years it took 31 years for the US, which was a little upstart, nobody from nowhere, to suddenly take over the British Empire never ended. The pound sterling was the world reserve currency and the most powerful, but we went nuclear and agreed that we would be the world reserve currency. The US has been in charge since 1944, mostly because of its strong navy. All of that is interesting because the central bank runs everything. How do they do that then? They do this by controlling the value of the money and again, taking money to the top of the structure. Finally, I'll answer your second question. What I was saying about Satoshi Nakamoto was that I thought, wait a minute, what if the government realized that the only way out was to devalue the currency? If that happened, they would destroy the dollar the same way every other republic has destroyed their currency in the past when they get too far in debt. If you look at the history of empires, they all fail for the same reason they get too much debt, and their currency crashes. So if that's the case, they get everyone to trade their cash for Bitcoin and then steal it all through the back door. What if it's real? Okay, we're really lucky. Morgan Creek Digital has a venture partner called Scott Stornetta. In 1991, Scott Sternetta and his partner Stuart Haber came up with the word blockchain. It has 8 footnotes, and he's in the back of the Bitcoin white paper 3 times. There are 3 of them. He knows a lot about tech stuff. I told him I had thought about it and asked him. He replied, I've never really thought about that. That's an interesting idea. No, Ben, it's really that fast. No, he said. What do you mean? He replied, well, it's possible that the NSA was the one who made it. It's possible. It was invented by a fake name and no one knows who he is. Okay, that's fine. Because of the air gap, Bitcoin doesn't have a back door that works the way you think it does. Now that we have Ethereum, that might have a back door. It sounds like, whoa, that's another day's subject. That's why the government can't take Bitcoin. It's spread out, right? They would have to break into 51% of the computer at the same time. It's not possible for the government to do it. Can they make it against the law? Is it possible for them to make an order like 1933? Also, this is funny. On 4,533 Executive Order 6,102, they make gold illegal in a broad sense. It's 4,575, 15th November, which is Satoshi Nakamoto's birthday. This is a nod to Executive Order 6,102, which made gold legal again in 1975. Wow, a little crazy. That's why they couldn't steal it all if Satoshi were a government force. Then why would they do it? They might be doing it because they know the dollar is going to fail, and this would be a better system. They could gain power by having that big bag, and then they could move it when it's worth, many billions of dollars. Can they make it against the law? They could try, but they won't be able to take it from you. Yes, you could actually lose it if you keep it at Coinbase or a central location like Mt. Gox. There are rules about that. They would have to have a good reason to go to your stock account and take your assets, right? But the government can make up reasons for things. In other words, they take the Russian assets without a reason. Okay, but what if you keep it in cold storage on your own ledger drive? Then I'll come to your house and ask for your seed line. I forgot about it though. Shoot you or your kids in the head. Are they going to show up at your house with a gun and threaten your family? I don't believe that. Anything is possible in the world of Mad Max though. The fact that it's not centralized makes it very safe and secure from that point of view.